Yo, what up, man? Ehsan, we're back.
I'm happy. I'm happy to be back.
It's been a week.
It's been a whole week since I saw the Titanic.
You watched it the day after we did it.
Oh my God, yeah. The morning after, I was like, I'm all in on this Titanic business.
Titanic, you know what I'm saying? He watched it. How do you feel, man? How was the phenomenon for you?
Oh man, turns out good movie.
Right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You nailed the noises, like when at the beginning when he's explaining how the ship falls to Rose in the CGI.
Yeah.
You went like pop 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 pop, and he does that, like he goes pop 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 pop. So it's like those noises you nailed. I was like, oh man, and then you nailed the rich people. The bourbon guy and the cigar guy. What the fuck?
We'll have a brandy.
Yeah,
those people.
He literally looked like the Monopoly man.
He was the Monopoly man was in Titanic,
and he died.
Bro, that nigga dead.
Dude, oh man, it was so. Here's a couple things that I wish you talked about. The probe at the beginning was called Snoop Dogg.
The probe at the beginning was called Snoop Dogg. Yes, I forgot that.
How did you like? I don't know how you didn't mention. That's so crazy. Like that's Snoop Dogg has like a cameo in I guess a kind of cameo in like the world's greatest movie.
Yeah, he does. I remember also a thing in that little shot where they're talking about how fast they drown if the water came through the windows. It'd be like in like less than 2 milliseconds. That's how deep they were in the water. I do remember, and they were doing the Snoop Dogg. It was a good movie, man.
Yeah,
James Cameron was on some shit.
Yeah, they did a good job of showing how big the boat is.
Yeah,
like they really did like the scale, like the long sweeping shots and the like how it was filmed. It was very well done, because in the beginning you get these it's like a romance film, right? You get these long romantic sweeping shots and a lot of like scenes where the camera doesn't move.
Yeah, a
lot of like static shots. And it's like very romantic, and then the switch to horror film is really good. Like I wrote this down because this is one scene that I remember that I thought was great, and I thought really for me this is where like I had a moment where I watched it and I was like, oh, this is a masterpiece.
Yeah,
and it was the moment. So when Jack is chained under, for stealing the diamond, he's chained downstairs while the ship is sinking, and then Rose finds him.
Yeah.
Right? There's this one line where this is where the fire. Well, you know how they start throwing one-liners out?
Yeah.
This is one of the one-liners you missed. So Rose sees him handcuffed to the pipe, and then goes, "I'm gonna go find help," and she runs off, and Jack is like, "I'll stay down here."
Yo, Leonardo DiCaprio, bro, nigga sleeping. He funny.
Yeah.
He was funny then.
No, but like I bring that up because it's like for me that's where like you really see the shift in tone. Like all the shots now become like quick. They're like quick cuts. There's no more like long like scene, like the spitting scene where they're just on the boat and the camera doesn't move.
Oh yeah, it's great. That's the best scene in the movie to me. But I feel what you're saying. Yeah,
right.
It turns into just a horror movie, action.
And then the camera tilted. Almost feels like I've never really seen any slasher movies, but from like the sort of clips I've seen, it has almost that sort of feel. The camera's like tilted and rocking back and forth, like kind of with the boat. Everything's a lot darker.
Yeah.
The music is crazy. The orchestra was such a good touch.
Yeah. You know what else I didn't realize we didn't talk about?
What?
The motherfucking band played as the ship went.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a good touch. The band, that made it way more intense because they were playing like nice music.
They died, man.
They died. I had read about the band because I was curious like what the real band was. And apparently the violin player, the guy who's like, calling the songs, apparently he was the last person standing. Before the ship.
And then he went in?
Yeah, the orchestra died, man.
Oh, man. That water was so cold, dog.
When they're all in the water and they're screaming. It was real. It was real scary.
It was real scary.
It was crazy.
And then they pan out and it's just silence.
That's my favorite shot in the movie, where everyone's screaming and it's all coming in the water and they're firing the flares, and then you pan out in the Atlantic Ocean and you can't even hear it.
Bro.
So there's chaos and all these people, 1,500 people just dying, and you can't hear a thing. You're just alone in the ocean.
How many people did they save?
Something like
they say the number at the end.
I forgot, but they said at the end Rose said 20 lifeboats left, only one came back. Some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
And the lifeboats were like only like half full too, like that sort of. They just saved what they could.
A lot of them. Yeah, because they were just putting rich people on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is a great scene too when Billy Zane is still at the very end. Billy Zane is just hitting people off with the paddle.
Yeah.
It's like it's my boat. I loved it.
I liked how it's crazy how much of a survivor he was in the movie, and then that nigga just kills himself.
Yeah, right. He fights so hard, but it's all. Well, I mean, money is all he cares about.
Yeah, and he lost all that shit.
Money is all he didn't care about. Rose, really?
No.
He just wanted money. He wanted to look the part.
Yeah, he did.
He wanted that debutante wife.
Man.
Yeah. There's one person I don't get in the entire movie. One person is, what's his name? The Paxton character, the diver guy.
Yeah.
The guy who starts the whole movie.
Yeah.
And so at the end, so you find out that the diamond is in Rose's pocket, right? And this whole thing is predicated on him finding the diamond. That's why he's searching, right? And at the end, he goes, "Oh, I didn't know there were other stories." And I just think that's such bullshit.
Yeah.
You're trying to find the diamond. There's 1,500 people died. There's hella love stories.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Please believe that nigga wanted that diamond at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
Please believe. Please believe.
Because I was like,
he wanted that diamond.
I was like, because he was like, "Oh my god, story is incredible." But it's like, yo, you have investors. You're not even gonna ask her about the diamond. I didn't think that. You're not even gonna ask her. Like, hey, where's that diamond? It was in your pocket.
Well, you know what's funny? I in my heart, I like to believe, because when he threw his cigar, he was like, I remember that scene you're talking about where he throws his cigar and he's like into the ocean. He's like, Titanic. Yeah. It's bigger than me or something. Yeah. It was bigger than me all along or some stupid shit he says. Yeah, it's like, I like to believe that he, in his heart though, he still was like, I'm gonna let this bitch go to sleep and then I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow and be like, hey, so you're running, he put the jacket on you, and then where's the jacket?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Do you remember when you put the jacket? Because when you came in, I saw you had a jacket.
Yeah.
Where's that jacket?
Yeah, because it's like at the beginning, he's like on the phone with his investors. With his like, "Oh, we'll get it, we got it," and at the end, he's just, "There's other stories." It's like, they're not gonna buy that. Your investors, you're not gonna be able to call your investors, and they're gonna be like, "No, but there's this love story, man." Like they're not gonna buy that at all.
I'm sorry, rich tycoons. There was a painter. There was an artist
that nobody knew about, who lived. He took life each day as it came. Yeah.
To making it count.
To making it count, yeah.
To making it count.
They'd be like, "Dude, we better get our fucking money back." We had to get Snoop Dogg's naming rights to name this fucking drone.
Oh, yeah. But you liked it?
Yeah, 5 thumbs up, man.
5 thumbs up. Good. That's awesome, buddy. Titanic.
Watch it.
You know? And we back. Yo, what up, EA Sports? How you doing, son?
I'm excited. I'm excited for this week's movie, man. No hoes this week, though.
Hey, no hoes again. No hoes at the podcast studio. But it's all good. We'll make do as we did last week and as we will continue to do. You know, through God, all things are possible.
Yeah, we'll power through.
We'll power through. You know, because that's what it's all about. You know, it's all about powering through when there's no hoes.
Yeah.
So. You know, Ehsan, how you feeling, bro? You good?
Yeah, man. I'm excited because I hear you. We're doing Paul Blart this week.
We're doing Paul Blart this week, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Paul Blart,
Mall Cop.
You know what I'm saying? This, by the way, I'm Deric Poston.
I'm Ehsan Ahmad. We should have done that earlier.
We are people, you know. But yeah, baby, what you about to say about Paul Blart? That's the movie we're doing this week.
I'm excited because you've told me about Paul Blart a lot. Like, you talk about it all the time.
Since we've been friends, I've brought up Paul Blart. I'd like to say a couple times a month. Yeah, he comes up randomly in my life.
Yeah, he's really a big inspiration of yours.
He's funny as I watched the movie again this morning for the fucking millionth time, and my girl had never seen it, and she at the end of it she was like, "Oh my God, what are people shitting on?" And I was like, nothing. They're shitting on nothing. I was talking to another buddy of mine who's producing this podcast right now, Mr. Mike Schmidt, and he said people shit like this is what people do. People, when you bring up Paul Blart, people go, "Oh, that's stupid, man. Paul Blart. Who's like Paul Blart? Fucking stupid move like Paul Blart." And I go, "Oh, have you seen Paul Blart?" And they go, "Oh no, I never saw it." And it's like, see,
that's me. That's me.
All those people, and I fucking hate those people because it's like it is delightful, and there's no way you watch it and you go, "I didn't like it." There's no. It's like what happened to you?
It's that silly. So it's like Night at the Museum-esque zone.
Bro, it's coming like it's Happy Madison production.
Okay.
So start there. Everybody in that shit is Adam Sandler everyone in there is not Adam Sandler.
There's comedy veterans.
Oh, comedy vets all through the whole motherfucking movie, man.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited because now I get to know what the hype is about.
There's one surprise for you. There's one surprise that I'm excited to bring up that you're gonna be like, no way. I'm like, I know. It's like this is why you gotta watch movies, dog. You never know who's gonna. You never know.
Oh man, so there's like a cameo in here.
Not even a cameo.
Not even a cameo.
A role.
Oh, a role. God damn, you set this up well. I see you have a sly look on your face right now.
Hey, nigga, I'm a sly ass nigga. That's what they call me. They call me Sly Stone, you know?
No one calls you that. Stop.
No, they call me that.
No,
they call me that.
No. I literally am the only person you hang out with. No one calls you that.
So what do you think Paul Blart's about?
Oh man, Paul Blart. Okay. So this is what I got. This is what most movies are like in this area. So Paul Blart probably wants to be a real cop. Paul Blart probably wants to be a real cop. Right?
This is one of those movies. It's not like even Titanic. This is not gonna be hard to guess.
It's not like Titanic. Yeah, I could have guessed that.
No, it's coming a little bit like Titanic.
Oh, really?
But I mean, it's just not like Titanic.
No, there's like a tone shift in the middle. No, okay. So Paul Blart wants to be a cop, but he can't. He's a lovable loser, right? So he's either too stupid, which I don't think he's stupid, because he's a hero. But he's probably like clumsy or something physical. There's something, you know what I mean? Like he's just like he just can't hold shit. Bad motor skills, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
He can't hold shit.
You know what I mean? Like he can't shoot a gun or whatever the fuck. Just something off about him.
Okay, that is fun. That's a good call.
Right, that he can't be a cop. Right, so he can't be a cop. And then he was like, well, I'll do the next best thing. And then he joined a mall because they were looking for a cop. I guess, I don't know, he just wanted to be a mall cop.
Uh-huh.
Okay. At a certain point, like at first he's bad at his job and everyone just kind of doesn't like him.
Okay.
Right? But he has like a trusty sidekick who's probably a little stupid. Okay. He has a stupid sidekick. They always have a dumb sidekick. He has a stupid sidekick. In a comedy, the sidekick's always dumb. Okay. It's like the comedic foil. It's like Eddie Murphy as the dragon. You know what I mean?
In Mulan?
In Mulan. You know what I mean? It's like, it's funny, but he's kind of useless.
God, I love the movies that you have seen. Yeah. It's the random movies. Like, so you haven't seen Titanic, but you saw Mulan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, come on, Mulan. It's Mulan. And then he finds out that someone's trying to like rob the mall. And he's the only person who knows. And no one believes him because he's bad at his job at first. And it turns out the person who wants to rob the mall is like the guy who hired him or some shit. You know what I mean? Like someone like,
oh wow,
someone who's like on the inside. That's why no one believes him. So it's set up so they can set it up easy. And then Eddie Murphy with the help, not Eddie Murphy. That's sorry,
but the Eddie Murphy character.
Not the Eddie Murphy. No. I bet Kevin James. Sorry, I was thinking.
Eddie Murphy. Yeah, he's not even the lead in that.
No, he's not. So Kevin James with the help of like a cute, like retail girl. Yeah.
Continue.
Like a cute retail girl. He finds the strength to stand up for what he believes in.
Continue.
He spoils the robbery, and everyone realizes that he's a good mall cop. And then he was like, I don't need to be a real cop. I have everything I need in this mall. And then he stays, and then he rides off into the sunset on his Segway. And that's what I think.
He's not a mall cop anymore?
No, he stays a mall cop.
Oh, he stays a mall cop.
But he rides off into the sunset to come back the next day. But he rides off. The day isn't over.
He rides off on the Segway.
Yeah, with the cute retail girl on the Segway with him.
Wow.
Or on another Segway beside him.
Okay.
Yeah. Double Segways. And that is how Paul Blart Mall 2. What am I saying? Paul Blart Mall Cop.
You're jumping ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Paul Blart Mall Cop, because there is a Paul Blart Mall Cop.
I know there's a 2. Which is why I know he doesn't become a real cop, because he stays a mall cop.
So that's the only. God
that's
damn.
The only context clue.
That's the only reason you know the ending.
Yeah. Is that he doesn't.
You wouldn't have been able to find out the Shyamalan twist of Paul Blart.
It turns out everyone's dead the whole time.
No, he's alive. You are very wrong.
Oh man, I
love how much it's so cool. Because I mean, this Paul Blart, it's like, to me, it's a classic. I consider this a classic movie because it's fucking timeless, man. It's timelessly funny. I watched it today, fucking laughing my ass off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to show I'm gonna show my kids, and if they're not laughing, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, what's wrong with my children? Like it's like timeless. That. It's just silly, man. It's silly comedy. It's nonsense.
So it's like Airplane in the sense that, like,
I mean, maybe not as like, I guess people maybe because it's way more physical.
Okay.
You know, it relies more on physical, but I mean, it's coming more like a Jim Carrey kind of movie. You know what I'm saying? Think more like that, but for a kid. You know?
Okay.
It's for kids. Also, it's a PG movie. PG, not PG-13. Like it might even be like G. It might even just be straight G. It's like clean cut, man. That's why I like it. I appreciate a clean cut comedy.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, and it also, you know, if we're talking numbers, my nigga, box office smash.
Really?
Huge.
Okay.
Huge. They made a second one also.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You don't make a second one if the first one fails.
Yeah, the first one was, and it's a reference. Think about how if you say like
Paul
Blart. If I call bro, remember the one time I got into an argument with a mall cop at a comedy club.
Yeah.
And I called that nigga Paul Blart, and
it hurt his feelings.
Ehsan saw a grown man just be crumbled by being called Paul Blart. So Paul Blart saved my life many a day. You know? Paul Blart's the realest, my nigga. I fuck with him, you know.
Oh man. All right. So what happens in this movie?
Okay, buddy. Paul Blart Mall Cop. We start. Opening scene, you were absolutely correct. A police academy in New Jersey.
Fuck yeah!
Yo, that's where we start, dog. The police academy in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. He's doing the obstacle course, and my nigga, he's killing it.
Yeah.
Shit,
he's good. He's fat and killing it.
He's sweaty. It's already funny because it starts with the picture of him. He's running, and it's in like slow mo, and he's running, and he's just sweaty boobs, sweat stomach, and but he's killing the obstacle course.
Right.
Like killing it. Like in first place. He gets all the way. He's in first place.
Okay.
He gets all the way to the end, and this nigga falls asleep at the finish line.
I can see Kevin James doing that. Just falls down?
Face first. Right for and then all the other cops pass him. And then, of course, he doesn't get
okay, so that's the thing holding him back from being a cop is he falls asleep right
now. It's hypoglycemia. Yeah, he needs sugar and shit.
Oh, man. So, immediately the comedy is set up.
Oh, yeah. So, the comedy is set up that this nigga falls. He has hypoglycemia. He falls asleep.
He's going to be in a very important scene at the end where he needs
to...
Yeah. He's going to fall asleep. Yeah.
They said, dude, it's simple comedy, but it's fucking right down the line, man. Yeah. It's fucking nailing it, you know?
I mean, even the idea is making me laugh, so I get it.
Yeah.
For kids, it's out of this world funny.
Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought you were. Did you not? I mean, Ehsan is my roommate. Everybody, we live together. Did you not hear me and my girl from your room? We were dying laughing.
She was doing like the real She was cackling. Yeah.
Because it was some funny shit happening, man.
Yeah.
So the next scene is they cut right to the next scene, and you see he has a mom and a daughter. That's what he lives with. He lives with his mom. He lives with his daughter. Very family. He clearly, family guy. They're all like he's sad, and they're like trying to like make him feel better.
Wait, so he lives with the mom and his daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened to the wife?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Relax.
Okay. My bad. I forgot. You're describing the movie.
Just know whatever you think happens with the wife does not happen. Bro, whatever you think happened with the wife. Ehsan, whatever the fuck. It is not what happened. Okay. Just so you know, it's a Happy Madison movie. So just know.
Okay, so something crazy.
Bro, you couldn't guess it.
All right.
You couldn't guess it. No, I mean, it's no point.
You know what I was there? I was the guy who walks into the movie and be like, "What's going on?" And you're like, "Dude, I just started watching." That's who I was.
You were right there. So the mom, the mom and the daughter, they're trying to console him, and he's sad, and it's funny. He's like, she's like, "Oh, do you want me to make you some pie?" And it's funny. He's like, "No, I don't want any pie." He's like, I guess I could go for a slice of pie. And then she starts smiling, like, because they're all looking sad, and he goes, I guess I could go for a slice of pie, right? And then the mom and the daughter, like, they smile, like they're happy, because they're kind of chubby too, like he's a big guy. Yeah. And then he goes, I'm now, Mom, I'm not. He's like mad. He's like, you brought up the pie, and now you're sitting here. Yeah. And so she goes and gets a pie, bro. She gives this man a pie, and he puts peanut butter on it or something.
Oh, God.
He covers the pie in peanut butter.
Oh, God. So in the scene where he goes, where they're smiling and he goes, I want the pie now, is there like happy music playing and then it says now the music cuts off?
I mean, no, it's still kind of like the sad, not sad like a mild, it's like a mildly sad music undertone, just like an undertone of like failure music.
Oh, okay.
Like he failed today, kind of undertone.
Is his wife the bad guy?
No, hey man, don't worry about the wife. We'll get to the wife, okay? So they convince him that they're like, hey, we don't want you to spend another weekend alone. It's the holidays. It's Thanksgiving. We're tired of this. Let us sign you up for internet dating. And he's like, if he agrees, okay? He's like, all right, you're my lady. He loves it. It's like a very cute family. Like, I love you, be my ladies.
All right.
So they sign him up for internet dating.
What the fuck?
And then, I swear to God, he goes, hopefully so they're signing up for internet dating, and he goes, hopefully we'll find another angel like your mother. Where the daughter says, I hope not. She was an illegal immigrant. I'm not playing this out. Oh, I should mention, the little daughter's clearly half Mexican. She's a little, clearly chubby half Mexican girl. The mom is white, Kevin James, you've seen. Yeah. Okay? The mom looks like a fucking old white lady, dog. Right. You know, just your average old white lady. She could have been a Titanic. Old white woman. Okay. And Kevin James. Right. And the daughter is a clearly chubby half Mexican girl.
Okay. And she goes.
So the daughter says, Mom was an illegal immigrant who used you to get pregnant with me, married you, moved to America.
Oh my God.
Then left us the moment she got here. What? And he goes, oh, your mom wasn't that bad. It's a kid's movie. But that's why she left.
What? So she used him for the green card.
Green carded him.
Yeah, and left him with a baby.
Bruh, Paul Blart got green carded. Yeah, movie, my nigga. Yeah, left him with a baby.
I know, right? And he's still like, she's not that bad.
Sweet dude. He's like a good guy.
Yeah.
He's like genuinely a really good guy.
So that's why he got taken advantage of by this illegal immigrant.
Hey, you gotta have some balls, my nigga. You know, and you get green carded out here real quick. Hey, it can happen real fast. You can look up and somebody's green carding you, baby.
See, these are the illegal immigrants we were talking about. You know what I mean? We gotta get them out of this country, man.
Yeah.
Green card and Kevin James.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Send her back.
Yeah.
She don't get to be here.
Nope.
You lost your. Actually, you know what, bro? I don't know. But you know what? That's why we don't talk politics on this shit.
Yeah.
Not our problem.
All right.
Back to Paul Blart mode. No.
Paul Blart
we're not there yet.
We're on one. We're on one. All right, sorry. I'm excited.
I know. So they sign up for internet dating, and they put on this funny video where they introduce him on the Segway. Because the poster is him on a Segway. The Segway is a very important part of this movie.
I know the Segway is a part of this movie.
Segway is a huge part of this movie. This is when the Segway was also popping, my nigga. Segway was coming like the things that people roll on, which aren't popping anymore.
No.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, people rolled on them. That's with their feet. Okay. So Kevin James, bro, it's a funny ass Segway video.
Oh, like a montage?
They're like, hey, why don't we post that cool video you made? And he's like, no, don't post the video I made. They're like, please, let us post the video you made. And he's like, no, ladies, I don't want it. And then they post that shit. And then it's just a video of like rock music and him like doing, they're not even tricks. It's just him on a Segway. But he's like feeling the shit out of himself, dog. Yeah. It's just funny. It's just him feeling himself, right?
Is he wearing a helmet?
Oh, of course. Classic. No, not in this scene. Not in this scene. This is him balling out in the Segway.
Okay.
This is him.
He's casual Segway day.
Yeah, this is him stunting. So the next morning, right, they go to sleep. The next morning they wake up, and he's on his way to work, right? He's on the Segway. The garage opens up, and he rolls out on the Segway. Just good comedy. Rolls out on the Segway, and a dog starts chasing him, like a little Chihuahua kind of dog.
Yeah.
And bro, it's funny as hell. Like you see the dog chasing him, and then you only see his face, right? And he's like trying to like get the dog away, and then you hear like, and you go, arr, arr. And then this man speeds the Segway up with the straight face. Like, it's just funny, man.
Yeah, he runs over the dog.
But he runs over and kills a dog. He does kill a dog.
He kills a child. Child dog. What am I saying?
What are you saying today?
I'm really out of it right now, apparently. Because I was thinking, like, it's a kid's movie, so a kid sees him kill a dog. And it's funny.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure a kid did. I mean, but the dog is dead, for sure.
Yeah.
So he gets to work, and then that's when he's riding through the Segway in the mall, and we see the love interest. We see Amy. That's the love interest. She's, like you said, she's working at a kiosk.
Hell yeah.
Unbelievable is the name of the kiosk. It's a weave store.
Oh.
And she's white, but she's white.
That's fun. Of course
Very
she's
interesting.
White. That's funny.
Yeah. So unbelievable. So
is she selling to other white people?
Huh?
Or does she have black
kind of
customers?
just opened it. The mall just kind of opens. She's opening up the kiosk.
He's
riding by. Mall. He's seeing her. Mm-hmm. It's not a new mall. She's just, I guess, new. She's new.
Right.
So he's riding by on the mall. That's where you're on. He's been working there like a long ass time. Okay. But we'll get there. So he's riding by on the thing, and it's in slow mo, and they're playing like a slow jam, and he's seeing her for the first time, and she's like whipping her hair back and shit. Right. And then this nigga runs into a minivan, which is a very important scene.
Yeah, really?
That's gonna come back.
Oh, that's
he runs into a minivan. This minivan callback comes back at like 5 or 6 times, but it's important like at the end.
Okay.
So bro, he runs smack dab into the minivan. You know what I'm saying? And then that's then that's nothing. And so then they cut to the next scene. He's like he's back in the office and he's talking to like his manager, and they say, hey, Paul Blart, you got a new trainee, and this dude named Sid Vec, and he looks like a squirrely, weird, kind of like weird looking dude, So he gets a trainee, and then like they're like, hey, you're gonna train him on,
Oh, is this his dumb sidekick? Please be his dumb sidekick.
It's kind of his dumb sidekick, not really. And he's just kind of giving them the rundown on things, and it's funny. He gives them one speech where he's like, if you ever see a culprit, what we do on our Segway is we pull up on our left side, put your right hand on your hip, alluding that you have a gun. And the guy's like, well, we don't have guns. I know.
Yeah.
He's like, but you know what we do have? Our voices! He's like, we have our voices. He yells. We have our voices. See? We have our voices. We always have our voices.
That's funny.
It's really fresh. We have our that shit made me holler today. We have our voices. Bro, so, oh, God. Let's see.
Oh, man. So he tried out being a cop a while ago. So he's just been working at the mall.
He's just been working at the mall for like 10 years now. So
okay.
He's been trying to be a cop for that. That was like his 10th or 8th, because he says that when he's talking to the trainee that like, I failed what's called today. It was my 8th time, but he was like, oh, happy positive about it.
Okay.
Like, just a positive guy.
Okay.
Positive, good lucky.
Sort of like how SpongeBob fails his driving test.
Yes.
Constantly.
He's exactly like SpongeBob failing his driving test,
yeah.
but knows he's going to pass it. But he's also not a dick, but he's like, if you worked with him, you'd have been like, man, you'd be laughing at how serious he's taking his job. Because he was just giving this dude, the trainee guy was clearly, not like he was dumb, he just clearly didn't care. Just a guy that like has a security job, and he's like, why am I with this old dude who cares so much?
Yeah,
that's the dynamic.
The guy who takes his job too seriously.
That's what he is. So, our love interests now meet for the first time. That's the next scene.
All right.
He finally goes up to the Amy girl, and she's like, hey, aren't you the guy that ran into the minivan? And
who plays Amy, by the way?
Bro, she looked like Anna Faris, but she not.
Okay.
She was on Glee. That's what Sam told me. That's what my girl told me.
Okay, she looks like Anna Faris, but she's not. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's what she looked like.
All right, so not Anna Faris.
Yeah, not Anna Faris.
All right.
He's talking to Paul Blart.
Okay.
And she says, like, aren't you the guy that ran into the minivan? And he's like, no. Or what minivan? And she's like, that minivan. And then they point back, and the minivan has like a huge dent in it. He's like, oh, yeah, I ran into that one. He's like, yeah, that was me. I don't know if you're talking about that minivan, but yeah, I ran into that minivan. Right? It's just fun. Like, non-stop little punches,
Yeah.
And so she calls him it's funny, she calls him like a security guard, and he's like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's a security officer. Right. And then she's like, oh, I didn't know that, I didn't mean to offend you. He's like, oh, no, it's just like a big thing that's been all over the news. It's crazy you haven't heard about it, but yeah, we're security officers now. It's just like, bro, he's just saying funny ass wild shit. And then we meet our bad guy in the movie. Steve Ranazizi.
Steve Ranazizi is the bad guy? That's so crazy.
I told you, dog. You gotta watch movies. You never know who's gonna be in it. Steve Ranazizi is the fucking. I forgot too, because I watched the movie a million times way back when I didn't know who Steve Ranazizi was. And this is the first time I've watched it since I've known who he is.
And been like, oh man, I park his cars.
Yeah, talk to this nigga. That's Steve Ranazizi and Paul Blart. I feel so stupid that it's like, why I see this dude all the time. He's in one of my favorite movies, most favorite, and I don't talk to this man about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's like the dude in it. He's a role, dog. He's the bad guy.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
He's a dick. It's so funny. He's a fucking asshole.
Really? What's his role? What's his? Who is he?
He's just a piece of shit. He also works at a kiosk in the mall, and he's a pen salesman.
Oh, okay.
And so he just comes over, and he's like immediately hitting on the Amy girl and shitting on Paul Blart for being like a fat mall cop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just kind of being that kind of guy, right?
Right.
Just being a piece of shit. So
he's selling pens. He's killing it.
Well, clearly. And then he invites Amy to a work party that night, right in front of Paul's. He invites her to a work party. Okay. So then that ends, and then they call right during that, they call Paul to the Victoria's Secret store because there's two women fighting over a bra. So he takes the trainee up there. He gets up there, and it's a big woman, real big woman, and then a hot lady,
right?
And they're like pulling back and forth over a bra. And then Paul like, hey, what's going on? And then they're like, the woman's like, this is the last bra on this size. And then the fat lady's like, I have a date tonight. And the lady's like, bullshit, you have a date. And then the fat lady like throws her drink down like, bitch, I'll kill you. Right. You know what I mean? And the lady lets go of the bra. And then Paul pulls the big lady aside, and he's like, hey, look, I know we both, kind of, struggle with our weight, and sometimes we want things to go. And then she's like, what are you talking about, struggling with my weight? And he's like, no, I'm not saying you struggle with my weight. He's like, it's just, I'm on that island with you, you know, and I'm hungry on that island. You know, like he's just saying
he's
shit like that.
Tell her that she's fat.
Yeah. And then she slowly starts taking her earrings off, and like she's like, "Hold my earrings," and then she beats the shit out of Paul Blart. Dog.
That's really funny.
Beats his ass, and then he's calling for backup. He's like, "Back up, back up." It's one of those scenes I remember in the trailer. Back up, and she's beating him up. And the next scene, they're both on segways. Him and the Sid trainee dude is kind of looking at him, and he's like all beat up and bloody. And he goes, "Hey, I know you're new, but backup feels like a pretty universal term." Yo, that shit is backup feels like
that's a good line.
Good line,
that's
bro.
A good line.
Kevin James is ripping this movie already.
Yeah,
ripping it
on the physical end and just the word end.
Yep. Also, the movie's only an hour and a half.
Okay.
Perfect kind of movie, man.
Right. Good comedy. Good comedies are short like that.
Dude, it's the best. So the work day ends, and then he goes back up to the Amy girl, right? The work day ends, and she's closing up her kiosk, and he invites her like a ride to ride on his Segway, like to like give her a ride to her car. Yeah. And then she's like, can't that get you fired? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, okay.
Oh man.
And then they get on the Segway.
Oh, not Anna Faris likes Bad Boys.
No, like, and then they start playing a slow-mo song, bro. And it's like a journey. It's like a journey. They start playing like going in slow-mo, and they start playing a song, and it's like, you know, I can't hold back. It's like, I can't hold back anymore.
Like
some
that
shit
R&B
like that.
shit.
No, just like some journey, like
journey.
that kind of sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're going in like slow-mo, and he's doing like tricks, and they're like laughing, and then he takes her to her Mustang. She's like a cool ass car. And then she asked him for his number, and you don't notice it yet, but he kind of says like, "Oh, I left my phone in the thing. I left my phone in the office." And he's like, "But give me your number and I'll remember it." Right. You kind of don't notice that scene, but it comes back to play. Right. But it's like you're like, what? It's kind of like, why would that?
Yeah.
That?
Just give her your number.
And then he's like, "Oh no, I'll just take your number in my head." And then she's like, "Okay." And then he takes her number. And then he goes off, right? So then the next scene is like they're at a work party, because right before she pulls off, right before she's about to drive off, she says, "Hey, you should come to the work party tonight."
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I was gonna come anyway." Like he was invited, but he clearly wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he decides to come. He comes to the work party, and he gets there, and Steve Renazizi's immediately being a dick. Like immediately being a dick.
This is at Renazizi's place.
Yeah, and he's like telling him like, yeah, this is not at Renazizi's place. It's at like a bar.
What's his character's name, by the way? We just call
Steve Renazizi.
Okay, so it's Steve Renazizi.
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I'll call him Steve Renazizi.
All right.
Yeah. And so Steve Renazizi, he's being mean. He's like being mean to him. And then the new trainee dude, like the Sid dude, he steps up and he's like, hey, you know, the Renazizi character's like to Paul, he's like, hey, you know, Amy's like, that's my girl. So just so you know. Oh, also thank you. The character that I'm talking about, the Steve Renazizi character, his name's Stewart. Yeah. So he's talking to Paul Blart, and he's like, "Thank you, Mike Schmidt." And he's like, "Our guy behind the sound just found that for us." He goes, "You know, just so you know, Amy's my girl, Paul. So back off. You know, you're just a security guard." And then the trainee guy steps up and he goes, "You're just a pen salesman, bro." And then I swear to God, Renazizi, without missing a beat, goes, "Yeah. Well, I just bought a Camry, so." Eat it. Just like that. I gotta ask Steve if he riffed that line. I was like, yo, that
sounds like a...
Yeah, well, I just bought a Camry. So, yo, that's such a weird thing to brag about. Yo.
But in the world of mall kiosk salesman, a Camry's a big deal.
Camry's a big deal.
Hey, you stepping up. You're selling a lot of pens.
That's a lot of, you know what, though? That is a lot of pens.
He's moving product.
Camry.
He's
Mark
moving
Maron
product.
drive a Camry, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Real G's drive Camrys. So the next scene is like Paul, they're still at the party, and Paul kind of like he kind of goes off and he's talking to other like co-workers that are at the party of his that he knows.
Right.
And he accidentally drinks a margarita.
Oh,
he's never had a drink before.
First drink?
First drink ever. Oh. So he's like, "What is this?" And because he drinks, he's like, "Oh, it's delicious." And they're like, "Oh, it's a margarita." And he's like, "What?" And he drink, and then the next scene, he is fucked up.
Oh, dog. God.
Fucked up at the party, just doing plenty of physical stuff, like walking on tables.
Right.
He walks up to the Steve Renazizi character and just starts barking at him. It's really just funny ass shit, bro.
Yeah, but he's like out of his mind,
acting an ass. So he goes up to the Amy girl and he's like, tries to like hit on her, but he's drunk and and she's like uncomfortable, and then he goes off and he starts dancing for a little while, and then this nigga throws there's a guy singing like songs at the bar. He throws this man off the stage, like grabs him, throws him off the stage, and then he's like, "I believe in magic," and he rips his shirt off and falls through a window. And that's how the scene ends.
And then the next scene is just up.
No, yeah, the next scene is Black Friday. It's just it's like the morning. Yeah,
it's the
morning in the mall.
And so he's probably all like fucked up. How far does he fall off this window?
He falls not too far. It's like a first story window.
Oh, it's a first story window, but still, he falls out a window.
He breaks the glass, and he is just
bare chested.
No, yeah, I mean, he rips he has an undershirt on. But then he falls. Yeah, just ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous.
It's big, very big.
So yeah, next scene opens up, and he goes up to the Amy girl, and it's Black Friday. The Black Friday is ending, by the way.
Right,
the day is ending, and he's like apologizing for how he behaved, and you can tell she's kind of being awkward about it, and doesn't really know.
Right, she's not feeling him.
Yeah. And then she just kind of mentions in that offhandedly that it sucks to be working on her B-Day. That Black Friday's her birthday.
Right.
And it sucks to have to be working on her birthday, okay? So the next scene, Paul tries to buy a cell phone to impress her.
Oh, he doesn't have a cell phone.
He doesn't have a cell phone. So he goes to buy a cell phone. The guy who sells him cell phones was in the movie Mr. Deeds. It's a brown dude. And so it's like, this is how I guess they put some people of color in the movie. There's nobody of color in the movie, but it's a brown dude. And the brown dude says he can't give him a free phone because Paul's like, I don't have any money for a phone. He's like, I just took my daughter's phone away because her boyfriend kept hitting her up too much. And she went over anytime minutes. So he gives him the phone and he's like, here, Paul, you can have the phone, but don't go over the anytime minutes. And Paul's like, I promise I won't, Mr. Bajahid or whatever. Like whatever the brown dude's
name
is.
Now Paul is also going to be getting texts from random teenage
boys.
Yeah.
And the phone's like a Hello Kitty phone. Like it's clearly like a pink girl phone. And like the ringtone is like, I'm so sexy or some shit, like some random shit like that. Yeah. So they cut to the mall is being set up to being robbed. So they cut to like shots outside now while he's getting the phone. And they don't know words, but you see like these people clearly like setting up outside to rob the mall. You know?
Right. So I was right about that as well.
Yeah, the mall starts closing, like, they announce that the mall's closing, and then the Amy character and the Steve Renazizi character and the new trainee character, like, they show them, they're all in the bank, in the mall. Okay. Like, you know what I mean, trying to, like, wrap it up. Like, I guess cash their checks before Black Friday ends or whatever. Right. And a guy, Paul's walking through the mall as it's closing up, and a dude says, hey, Paul, can you watch my shop for 5 minutes? While I go cash this check at the bank. And Paul's like, of course, I got you. So Paul, goes in the store and he locks it and he just starts playing video games. Right. And so there's a whole montage of him playing.
And the people coming in behind him while he plays video games. Huh? Is like the people sneaking in behind him while he plays video games?
The people robbing that are about to rob the mall? Yeah. Well, no, that's just when the robbery starts. That's how, because that's how he, I guess, is. It's like a Die Hard situation. Like how he gets separated
from everyone else.
While there's a robbery being taken place. Okay. So everyone else is in the bank. Like all the other main characters in the bank, they're clearing out everyone else is being evacuated. And then the mall, just starts being, robbed.
Okay. How many people?
Probably a team of 6 or 7.
6 or 7, okay.
And so all the characters in the bank are freaking out because that's clearly what they're there for, and so they're all they're all there and they're being held hostage. And then they tell the Sid, the trainee guy, the new guy, they're like, "Hey Sid, get down," because he's standing up in shock. They're like, "Sid, get down," and then he smiles, and then he's the leader of the bank robbers. Wow. Good twist. Not a bad twist.
That's a good one. But it was someone on the inside. It's always someone on the inside.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It was someone on the inside. But it was the trainee Sid.
It wasn't Renazizi.
It was not Renazizi. Renazizi is not the bad guy. No. It is Sid. Sid Vec is his name.
I don't like him. Bad guy name.
Bad guy and horrible actor. He is by far. Everyone else in the movie is fine. Right. Good acting or great. Everyone is great. Everyone else is pretty good. This motherfucker is garbage. I don't know who he is. He just looks like a squirrely looking white dude. Right. But he, acting wise, bro, you got to step it up, my nigga.
You're in a classic.
Yeah, well, come on, man. You're Paul Blart. Yeah, you're apparently. Yes, classic. So, Paul's, playing video games while all this shit's going on. He's doing a big Guitar Hero montage. That's what's happening while you find out the same character.
Because Guitar Hero's big at this time, too.
Yeah, Guitar Hero was pretty big.
I never played.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long? So he's just in there. So everything's happening behind him. How far is he from the bank?
He's not far. He's in the mall, so he's not far. And then also all the robbers are parkour people. Just a heads up, know that they're all they're all doing action. They all have one has a skateboard, one has a razor, one has they all have different forms of transportation.
One has Heelys.
They do, and then they all can flip and onto other random shit. But they're all doing this unnecessarily to rob this place.
Okay, yeah.
It's very unnecessary.
Yeah, and they have guns while they're doing these flips.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while this is happening, that's when Paul Blart gets a random call from, like you said, one of the girls' boyfriends.
The phone just goes, I'm so sexy. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And it's a guy, a young brown dude named Bahood. Bahood. And he is insane. He's like a 14-year-old boy,
right?
And he's just insane. He's talking crazy to Paul Blart. He's like, "Are you talking to my girl? You know, are you messing with my girl, Mr. Blart?" You know, like it's ridiculously, but they throw him in the movie, and then at the end of the conversation, somehow like him and Paul get cool. Right. They get cool at the end of the conversation. I don't know how.
Because Paul's likable.
Yeah, they get cool and then they hang up. But it was clearly like, oh, this guy's gonna come back into play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that's how okay, if I had to guess from here, Bahood is the one who saves them all. Like, he's able to contact Bahood on the outside.
You already know, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. So, because Bahood, baby, the brown dude saving the day on this bitch.
Yeah.
So Paul starts roaming the mall, and he's kind of noticing now it's empty. He still doesn't know the mall's being robbed. He's just noticing, like, what the fuck is going on? Everything's empty. Like the bakery. He said nobody closed up the bakery. Nobody closed up this kiosk. He's kind of just noticing. And then that's when someone like notices him. You know,
one of the
robbers notices him, and he slips away, and he calls the police, and now the police are all outside, right? Like all the police come outside,
right.
and then they say, "Hey, Paul, come out. We don't need a wild card in there." And then he goes, he says, "I've never been a wild card, sir, unless you're talking about Uno."
No.
He said, no, he says, "I've never been a wild card, sir, unless you consider Uno wild." That's what he says. And then they're like, "Paul, just get outside."
Yeah, Paul, what are you doing, Paul?
Nobody laughs.
Yeah.
It's so funny, but he's like dying to himself.
Yeah.
So he runs outside, and he gets outside, and then he notices Amy's car is outside. He sees he sees the cool Mustang.
He
realizes, I got to go back in. I got to save her. And he's like, I've took an oath to protect everybody in this mall, you know? So he goes back in, and he heads back in to save Amy. Then two of the robbers, like right when he heads back in, they spot him and they start chasing him.
Okay.
Like through some parkour shit.
And he's on a Segway?
No. Yes, he's still on the Segway. He has not got off the Segway yet.
Okay,
he's
always on a Segway.
Then he runs, and he gets into a sports store, and he climbs into a vent. And like all the sports store had like all these legs, like a bunch of legs poking out and shit. Right. So he gets in the vent, and then he like holds his legs. His legs are sticking out, right? So, but it looks like his legs are just part of the legs coming out of the ceiling, like everybody else's, right?
Right.
So they're looking at him, and then he gets caught because they don't see him, and then you hear his stomach start rumbling on the vent.
Oh, good fart joke.
Yeah, no, it doesn't fart. It just he's hungry.
Okay.
And he says like, "Oh, why didn't I eat lunch?" or something like that.
Yeah.
You know. And then that's how they find him, and then he's like starts like scrambling through the vent, and they're chasing him, and then the vent like they're like poking it, trying to stab him, and the vent falls and like hits one of the girls and knocks her out. Okay. So that's how he takes out one of the robbers.
He takes out one of
So
the robbers.
now one's out. So it's about 7, and so now he's down to 6, right?
Okay, so he's now picking them off one by one.
And they all have like these codes on their arm because they're trying to like rob each store individually.
Right.
You know? So that comes into play later. So one of the robbers goes away, I guess, to let them know that, hey, there's a security guard running around. Right?
They haven't got anyone.
And so Paul, he throws the one girl like in a closet or some shit. And so and then the police call him and say, "Hey, Paul, since you refuse to come out, we're going to start working with you," right?
Right.
And so he lets her know, like, "All right, we got one down and shit." And then there's a classic scene, like, right, he says he has one down where he's like running across the mall and he tries to slide.
Oh, and then doesn't slide
behind something, and he just stops halfway, and then he has to scoot.
Yeah.
Just good comedy.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that in theaters and being like, "That's funny."
It's just good stuff, you know? Yeah. That's when the SWAT shows up, like SWAT arrives, and the commander is like an asshole, and he's like you've seen him. It's the nigga, he's the lead in that show Vinyl.
I've never seen Vinyl.
Me neither, but he's the lead in that joint.
Okay.
He's a serious actor, but he's funny though.
Okay, so
he's in like Peaky Blinders, and he's in like every show where they need like an Italian looking dude.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's also in like motherfucking the other guys and like comedies and shit. He's funny.
Okay.
So he shows up, and he's an asshole. He just starts being mean to everybody, like like the leader of the SWAT. You know, SWAT is like, we're in charge.
Yeah, we're in charge.
You're always the classic. We're in charge now.
And the state police are like, "But we were here first."
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're doing
and
that.
They're like, "Dad, damn it!"
Yeah, and the state police guy like is a likable captain that the Paul Blart likes, and you know what I mean. But so the SWAT, and then the SWAT guy, he lets him know like, "Hey, it's Paul. We have Paul Blart inside." And he goes, "Blart, I went to him in high school." He said, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "Blart, this is me, Captain. What's up? You remember we went to high school together?" He said, I set you on fire at the Pancake Festival." And then Paul Blart goes, "Oh yeah, go Greenhawks."
I like that Paul doesn't remember him until "Oh yeah, that's the guy who set me on fire."
That's the guy who set me on fire at the goddamn Pancake Festival. Oh yeah, go Greenhawks.
Yeah, you know how you forget about that. That's for all the times it gets set on fire. You lose track, really.
Exactly. So the commander like is telling him like, hey, you need to come outside and whoop whoop. And
also, Greenhawks is a terrible mascot.
Greenhawks is what the fuck is a Greenhawk?
Yeah, what is a Greenhawk?
You can tell it's such a high school thing because that is a high school thing.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
So the commander is like, you need to come outside, and then like while he's talking, Paul has hung up, and they pan back the camera, and he's already talking to the other guy, and the guy's like, hey, what's up, Paul? No, we're still just waiting for see what you want to do. Like, and then the commander just like realizes that he hung up. Yeah. Like a little kid comedy.
Yeah.
And some kid comedy.
Some KC.
So another robber then sees Paul and starts chasing him, like while this is happening. And then he runs into the spray tanning area and he hides in a spray tanning booth. And then the guy cuts the spray tan on, so he gets like all spray tanned.
Right.
And then Paul gets out and proceeds to beat the fuck out of this nigga with a tanning bed.
Oh, so he slams
him to sleep.
On the door. Oh,
then like crazy. Cuts it on and like ties it shut and then like walks away.
Oh, so that guy's gonna wake up with like burns?
No, and then he comes back and he puts the little glasses on him.
Yeah.
But I did think that. I was like, yo, that is like fucking torture, dog.
Right, you're really hurting this guy.
You're really hurting this motherfucker.
You just threw the other girl in a closet. Then why does he get the closet?
Yo.
I thought they were going to go back to the same closet.
Also, when he wakes up, he's going to come to and be just in a tanning bed.
Yeah. Oh, that's just tied up.
That's awful.
Up. Yeah.
It's fucking awful. You don't know when you can say it.
His skin's going to be all leathery.
Oh. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
His skin's going to be all leathery. There's that problem. The robbery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's going to go to jail. But with leathery skin.
Yeah. So he gets out of that situation. Then another robber starts chasing him and this robber starts shooting at him.
Oh, finally.
There's some gunfire now. We actually got gunfire. They have a whole big chase fight scene.
So he's outrunning these on
a Segway.
Guys. Yeah. So he's doing cool Segway tricks.
And the dude's on a skateboard, right? And he's outrunning them.
Right.
They make it to the roof somehow, and the skateboarder tells him how he's like, he finds out somehow that like that he knows the Amy girl downstairs,
right? And
then through the chase, and then he's like, I'm gonna kill her first. And then this nigga skateboard jumps like across the mall onto another part of the mall,
right?
And then Paul Blart Segway jumps.
Oh yeah,
behind him, and then takes him out through the skylight glass into the ball pit.
That's good.
It's
comedy.
a crazy scene.
That's good.
Into
comedy.
the ball pit, and then the guy, because you see a hand raise up, and you think it's Paul Blart, and then it's the dude, and he gets up, and he's kind of like all bloody, and then Paul Blart like segues up behind him like the fucking Undertaker, like he segues up out of the ball pit, and then fucking headbutts the dude unconscious.
That's funny.
It's crazy fight scene.
That's crazy.
It's like long too. It's like a ridiculously fight scene.
That means Kevin James can do a lot with his body.
Oh, dude, when you watch it, you're gonna be very impressed.
Yeah, cause I just see him as like a fat, stationary type dude.
Oh, fuck no, man. Have you ever seen a stand-up?
A long time ago.
Stand-up is crazy good and it's very physical.
It's very,
it's so funny. I mean, if you watch King of Queens, too, so physical, so
I've never
funny.
seen King of Queens.
Great show.
Yeah.
Dude, Kevin James is that nigga, dog.
Yeah. I didn't know he was that physical.
Very physical. Extremely physical.
That makes sense. He's not like an intellectual comic by any sort of stretch of the imagination.
His stand-up is very funny, though. His stand-up is like, it's coming like, I'd compare it to exactly like Brian Regan.
Okay.
He only put out one special and he stopped.
Okay.
But the first special is fire, son. You should watch it.
Yeah. So it's physical. Okay.
Physical as hell. So he gets through that, right? Then Paul's daughter shows up somehow. I don't know how. She shows up.
And she gets past the police.
Gets past SWAT. Yeah. She's in the mall. They pan her and she is already walking in the mall like holding like food for him.
What?
Don't know how. They don't explain how she got past SWAT.
How old is she?
She's like fucking 12, 13.
Oh, God.
She's personality.
Yeah.
It made no sense. And then the robbers now like have her inside, but she's smart. She doesn't tell them that the security guard that's fucking everything up is her father. She's smart. She doesn't spoil the beans.
Yeah.
So
spill the beans, not spoil.
Spoil the beans.
You got it wrong.
But Paul, he realizes that they do have his daughter. Somehow he like sees her and finds out, and now it means war. You know that scene where he's like, now he's like mad,
right? Does he add war paint to himself?
Oh yeah, he adds war.
Okay,
of course.
Okay,
he adds black war paint to himself.
Okay,
he goes and sets up a bunch of booby trap shit like Home Alone.
Okay,
and he gets like all black security guard. He puts on his black security guard outfit,
right,
which is really funny. Yeah, he puts on his black one. You know, and then he remembers that the Amy girl, it's her birthday, and he tries to like break glass to get to the cards, and he like can't do it. And then he eventually does it. Like he tries to do it with his body. Like he gets a big running start and just hits the glass. It's so funny, bro.
Yeah.
And hits that shit so hard. It's like bulletproof glass. And then he does it with the Segway somehow. I don't know. But the bulletproof glass shit is funny. Because it's also
and
like
it just bounces off
the music's so positive and he's like been doing all this shit. He's like setting up stuff and he's got the war paint. And he's like, I'm gonna get her a car. And then he just hits that glass, nigga. It's like so funny.
Yeah.
God, it's a good movie. So Paul then decides to get on the God mic at the mall.
Oh, there's a God mic.
Always a God mic. So he gets on the big over projector mic for everybody.
And he gives him a speech.
Lets him know, like, hey, I'm coming for you. Like, you gotta, talking shit. And then while he's talking shit and letting him know that, like, during his big speech, he's about to be coming for him, he has another hypoglycemia attack. And that nigga falls asleep on the microphone. So now they know where he's at.
There it is. Oh.
Like, after he did all that shit.
Oh, after he got himself worked up. After he's like, I'm going to save my daughter and my girl.
And so it's really funny. And then he falls down. He falls down. And then he like kind of opens his eyes barely. And there's a old, dirty as fuck sucker that's just on the ground. Yeah. Just just cringeworthy. Yeah. And then he picks it up and he's like, oh, and he's looking at it. And then he just fucking eats that shit. And then he like comes to like he's fucking Popeye or like Blade. Like when he drinks the blood. Yeah. Just fucking, Yeah. And then he's ready to go. He starts talking shit, and then he gets all the like he gets that energy, and he runs into the middle of the mall, and he gets all the robbers to meet him there, and they chase him into the Rainforest Cafe where he set up all his booby traps. And then like Rambo, this nigga starts taking him out one by one.
So he like pops up behind somebody.
Oh yeah, the whole thing, dog, the whole Rambo scene.
Yeah,
just complete. You see Rambo?
Nope.
We'll get there too. But just complete. You can imagine just a Rambo style one by one attack.
Right.
Belt
of ammo type.
Oh
shit.
Yeah, all these different like little Home Alone kind of booby trap setups. You know what I mean?
One guy falls into a covered pit of some kind.
Yeah, just shit like that. So the main guy, the Vec dude, the
bad actor.
Yeah, the bad actor, the bad piece of shit actor. He runs back to the hostages.
Well, piece of shit is harsh.
Yeah, he's just a piece of shit actor.
Yeah, he could be a good person.
I said piece of shit actor.
Oh, okay, my bad.
He is a piece of shit actor. Could be a great guy.
Yeah, but bad actor.
According to this movie, not though. So he runs back to get the hostages. Also, he left the hostages alone and they didn't leave. Makes no sense.
Yeah, that's
but
funny.
Whatever. Yeah, he runs back to the hostages, and the Steve Ranazizi character snitches. Because he goes like, which one of you has been talking to Paul Blart? Because she's been texting him. The Amy girl has been texting him and letting him know things.
Okay.
And he snitches on her immediately, just like on some pussy shit.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Yeah. Steve Ranazizi is such a bitch in this movie. Like, it's so funny. Yeah. Like immediately snitches on her. He's like, the phone's under her leg. Just don't kill me. Like,
I just bought a camera.
Yeah. Just like, give me my pins. And just like he's just also bullshit. Right. There's a scene where like she asked for a pin and then he gives her like some huge fountain pen and like brags about it.
Yeah.
I forgot where it was, but that does happen.
It's funny.
So Paul tries to like trick Vec into freeing the hostages. Like he gets him to go run out, and then he's like in the ceiling of where the hostages are, and he starts levering them up one by one. But one of the hostages is like really, really fat, and he's like trying to get him, and it looks like he's gonna get him up in time. And then you get back, and he's like barely off the ground.
Yeah,
like the Vector's looking, and then all the other people say just all fall through the roof. I forgot to tell you. There's a scene. Remember when I told you he was setting up everything to like. No. There's a scene where he's walking. He got the cell phone.
Okay.
Right after he got the cell phone, one of the other guys at the kiosk gives him some hot sauce. He goes, "Hey, Paul, I just got the hottest hot sauce in the world, baby." It's a black dude. He's like, "The hottest hot sauce in the world, baby. You got to try this hot sauce." And Paul's like, "Okay." And it's random. So they fall through the roof. Yeah. You're gonna be, because I was gonna say the next thing you're gonna be like, "Wait, where the fuck did the hot sauce come from?"
Okay.
So. Bruh, they fall through the roof, and like the Vec dude's giving his speech like right before he shoots him, like everybody does. And then Paul Blart remembers he has the hot sauce, and then he whips it out, and he goes like across the room. Like a free throw,
just Hail Mary,
fucking like at least a free throw's distance,
right?
Fucking like does like that, like and the hot sauce squirts. They follow it in slow mo right into his eye. And the dude like, and then they're all like so proud of Paul, and they're all looking around, and then like a couple seconds go by, and then the guy like wipes it out, and he's like, "What the fuck was that?" And then Paul's like, "Man, why?" He says that like, "I should have capitalized on that moment." And then the guy just leaves Paul.
He doesn't shoot him?
No.
He just leaves him.
Yeah, he takes Amy and the daughter.
Right.
He takes Amy and his daughter.
Does he know it's a daughter?
Yeah. And
does he know it's his daughter?
He knows his daughter now.
Oh, okay.
And he takes them to, and he gets in like some van, the van that they came in, and now he's driving away like to the airport, right?
Okay. They get past SWAT again.
This
SWAT is not very good.
So Paul is running in the mall, and he's like, "How am I going to chase him?" And he's trying to chase him, and they drove off, and he's like, and then he looks to his right. The minivan he ran into in the beginning of the movie.
No.
Still got the dent in it.
It's back.
It's back, baby.
It's back.
He hot wires the minivan. He busts out the security thing, and they start shooting at it. Obviously, the SWAT, the cops.
But they don't shoot at the other car.
Didn't shoot the other car. Yeah. The commander, obviously, the commander asshole guy who went to him in high school, he stops him, and he's like, he's like, hey, don't shoot. And then Paul's like, I gotta save him. And he's like, well, I'm coming with you. And then now they team up. Right. So he gets in the car. He's like, let's go get him, Blart.
Yeah, we've already let your daughter get captured, and we let him go somehow. I gotta
do my job. Yeah. I'm the SWAT commander. Jesus Christ.
What had happened?
So now they're chasing him, right? And Paul Blart, they're chasing him down the freeway to he's trying to get like on a plane to the Cayman Islands or some shit. And so they're chasing him, and
How old is this vet guy, by the way? I was
late 20s, maybe early 30s.
Okay.
Our age, maybe my age, maybe a little older than me.
Because when you start talking about him, I was picturing like someone, a young 20s teenager type. But if he's the bad guy, yeah.
A little bit older. So Paul, they finally catch him up to him in the van. Paul climbs on top of the minivan. The one dude's driving, and then he goes like to jump onto their minivan, and then completely misses. Yeah. Like it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like completely misses.
Yeah.
Hits the ground, gets up, just starts sprinting through the woods. Like, cause he lands like obviously off the freeway, rolls down, and then he starts running into the woods. And then the guy's like, Paul, where are you going? And then he just keeps following the van, right? And then Paul. So then you don't know what happened. So you see the vet guy, pull into the airport, right? And there's a private jet there ready, and he's just like trying to get him on the plane. And then Paul Blart just comes out of nowhere and tackles this nigga. Does not explain where he comes from. Nothing.
No idea. He had no idea where he was going. He was just like, I'm gonna make an educated guess.
I'm gonna make an educated guess that the airport is this way, and this is the plane that they're going to.
Yeah.
This is the private jet that he's gonna be at.
Yeah.
So this motherfucker like catches up to him. He's fighting now, and now they're like fighting. Like now they're fighting and shit. And then during the fight, like this last fight scene, he fakes hypo, like he falls asleep again.
Right.
But he fakes it. And then the guy walks up, and then he trips him and like fucking punches him. And then like, now he has the gun on him.
Yeah.
And then that's when the
SWAT commander finally doing his job.
Yep. He shows up and he pulls the gun on all of them.
Oh, what?
And he's like, I'm going to rob the bank. Like he goes, my plan was to rob the robbery. And he tells Paul Blart how he's going to get all the codes and how he set it all up and all this shit. And so you find out the SWAT commander was the bad guy the whole time. And anyway, and then
double inside job.
And then at that moment, Paul Blart's like mall cop, the old guy you only see like twice in the movie, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
He shoots the guy's hand, and then you see all the other cops. Like he shoots the SWAT guy's hand.
Older mall cop.
The older mall cop shoots the SWAT guy's hand.
What the
fuck?
Out
of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then he saves the day, and then like the good music starts playing, and like all the other cops show up and they surround the SWAT guy.
Yeah.
And he gets on his knees and they got him.
What happened with the Indian kid? Does the Indian kid come back? On the
phone. I forgot. So the Indian kid, when in the minivan, how they found out where Amy and them were going. Remember how they get to the airport?
Right.
I forgot. He called the Indian kid. That's why I brought up the Indian kid.
And the Indian kid looked it up on his computer.
Had a whole GPS like monitor system scene.
Yeah.
But apparently the Indian kid used that shit to track his girlfriend.
What the fuck?
And he goes, "Don't you judge me, Paul." He says that. He says, "Paul, don't you judge me now." He's like 14.
Shit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
I forgot
scary.
that. Yeah.
That's insane. The Indian kid is their tech help.
Oh yeah, he's the tech guy. There's always a brown tech guy.
He's
he's how they catch up to him in the van. That's how they find him.
Okay, and that's how they find out what airplane he's going
and all that shit. Yep.
Okay.
And then yeah, so he tries to kill him, and then the old guy saves the day, and then they arrest the SWAT member, they arrest that guy, and then the next shot is like that morning. It's like morning now. It's like sunrise.
Right.
And like, you know that shot in every action movie, like after all the action's done, like the ambulance is there and everybody's running around and somebody's always wrapped in a blanket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, somebody's always wrapped in a woman. So the Amy character and their daughter are wrapped in the blankets. Like he's like he's sitting on the back of the ambulance getting bandaged up and he's like, no, I'm fine. Because they always say like, hey, are you okay? And he always goes, the main character always goes, no, I'm okay. You know, even though he's all like bloodied up. And then he gives he pulls out a card. Like that card that he busted through the window, and he gives it to the Amy character, and he writes like a really nice note in there for her, and then they kiss, and then the cop walks up.
The cop, that's his friend, the good guy.
The good cop walks up and offers him a job on the force. Yeah. Turns it down, and he says, "My job is to protect the people in the mall."
I knew it.
And he walks off with a girl in the sunrise, and that's Paul Blart, bro.
Man, the only thing I wish they segued.
Yeah. No segue.
No segue, but man.
Not what you thought exactly, but pretty close. But not what you thought exactly.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Very fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Short.
I want to see how Kevin James does all this physical shit.
He's physical as hell, man. I'm telling you, the dude is incredible. It's funny, dog. It's fun. It's just a good time. It's delightful. That's how I felt the whole time. I was like, this is delightful. I'm delighted.
Like your soul felt lighter.
I felt light.
Yeah, that's nice.
I felt light, bro.
It's a good feeling after a movie.
It's a great feeling after a movie. It was a great movie. I loved it. I'll watch it again. It's one of those.
Yeah.
I'm watching it in a heartbeat. It's kind of like Elf. It's coming like that. It's just coming.
Another movie I've
damn,
seen.
I can't wait. Another one we'll do. Yeah, nigga, it's just fun. It's just fun. It makes you feel good. It's funny. And it's funny. The lines are funny. The writing is fun. Like a lot of those lines.
You got me a couple times.
Dialogue. That's dialogue, you know, and that's funny dialogue. So fuck what the people say, you know.
I know people in the movie.
Bruh, Steve Renazizi is hilarious, bro, with the Camry line. I gotta ask him about the Camry line. That was funny as hell. Killed it. He killed it. Paul Blart killed it. The girl from Glee did good. She did a really good job.
Not Anna Faris.
And not Anna Faris, you did a really good job. And then Vec, man, you gotta act, my nigga. You gotta act, bro. You gotta try.
Yeah.
Gotta try. You know? But we'll get into that later, man.
All right.
What'd you think? You liked it?
Well, I can't wait to watch it now. I'm very curious if I'm gonna laugh. If I'm gonna laugh knowing the jokes, will I still laugh?
Yes. It's just like that. It's silly fun, man.
It's silly fun. I can't help myself.
Bro.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it next week then.
Yeah.
Later.